So I just got back from my trip to New Jersey, and I picked up a whole bunch of stuff for Mythic Americas from the Taino faction. Now I'm really excited about these guys. I think they are really interesting, both kind of historically and in terms of their game mechanics, because they're not really like a combat focused people. They were relatively peaceful. So in the game, they're actually like a horde army, and they work off of a bunch of like community based rules. You have like civilians, and then you have fighters that are led by different elders, and there's a couple of magic creatures and monsters and stuff. But I thought it'd be cool to take a look at what comes in the starter box and show off a couple of the different miniatures so you can see what you get. And then also, because how could you not, we'll open the Behemoth up, because this guy is pretty sick, and it comes with coquis, and those are my favorite. So let's check it out. So this just has a little slip cover. Throw that to the side, and got a cardboard box here. And it's packed full of bubble wrap. So we've got our MDF bases. This is the two sides of these are going to be for your like humanoids, and this is going to be for the coquis, which are the big turtle monsters that are going to be in here. Also very cool. And then that's them. The coquis. I love these guys. We were talking about it on the trip. But I think, being that they have like little, I don't know if that's actually a headband or what, but if you can see there, he's got like a little hood type thing over his head. And I think maybe I'll do these guys up in Ninja Turtle colors. Normally I wouldn't do something like that, but it's a small enough thing, and I think the effect will be subtle enough that it won't be obnoxious. Like, it won't look like I painted them like Ninja Turtles, but they'll just be the right colors. I think that'd be pretty sick. I love these models. They're really cool. Turtles are sick, and these guys are really like brolic and chunky, as you can see. This thing is basically a round. It's as wide as it is tall. And they're nice quality. This one seems to have like a little white inside. I don't know what that is. Must have something to do with the 3D printing. I'll have to see if that's something that comes off. Maybe it's a residue from the printing. But they look fine. You can see that they're really nice quality. You can't really tell that they're 3D prints, to be honest. They have a little bit of that like shininess that you see on a lot of resin 3D prints, but you can't see the lines, the layer lines very well at all. And you can't even really feel them when you run your nail over. I guess a teeny bit you can feel it. But I've never noticed on any of the painted models, because I'm guessing what layer lines are there get filled in by the paint quickly enough that you just can't tell. And they're obviously very highly detailed, which is cool. There's no connection points, I guess, except for the feet, which just have these teeny little dots on them. And actually, I don't even feel that. So I don't know what that actually is. But worst case scenario, you file that down or scrape it off, and then you're good to go. Let's check out some of the metals here. So there's going to be a couple of different units. If we look on the back here, it's going to tell us what it comes with. I think this is the cacique, because there's only 4. No, these are the Naborias. These are like the villagers, so they just have like clubs. And one of the interesting things is, because the Taino are obviously from a quite warm climate, they don't have a ton of clothing on. They're not like naked, but they don't have like overly elaborate clothing. It's kind of interesting. I have some Taino for Blood and Plunder that I play, and they're similar. They kind of, I think most of the men are just topless, which is interesting. These are going to be the Siba Warriors. They have bows, and I think in rules, mechanically, they also have a club or a dagger or something. They have a melee weapon. I don't see any on the models, but I do notice that they have these little, like, I think I've seen this somewhere before. They have these, like, tassels around their ankles at the bottom of their pants. Almost looks like bell bottoms from American fashion. I want to look into what that actually is. Or if there's like a purpose to it. Maybe it's to keep the sand off their legs. I don't know. Kind of interesting. Gives it a unique look, though. I like them quite a bit. And I was talking, we did a little tour of the production facility, which, if that's not up already, that'll be up soon. But the metal models have really improved in quality for one-piece models. They're actually quite hard to make, or I should say they used to be quite hard to make with any kind of dimensionality to them, like depth. They would only kind of go side to side. And these actually are fairly flat, but I guess it's because they're archers, they would be. But we were looking at some of the newer, I think it was the Western Federation stuff, and they were quite deep, and yet they're still single piece, which is great. I know if you're a Malifaux player, you probably have nightmare stories about building Malifaux models. And while I generally don't like working with metal, these are pretty cool, and also you don't have to build them. So you just stick them on the bases and go, which is pretty great. So these are kind of like your main infantry. It's nice that they have two options. They have spears and they have short bows. I think the starters just come with the short bows, but you can buy them with spears as well. Spears are cool because they're throwing weapons, so you actually can use them defensively when you're charged, but you can also, or I'm sorry, you can't use them defensively when you're charged, but you can use them offensively when you're charging. So you can actually like get an extra plink of damage in when you're coming in. And then this is something I didn't realize, but this is the cacique. This is the, whoops, this is the cacique. This is the leader. He's the one with the most, obviously, decorative outfit on, with his big cape and his headdress, which is pretty dope. But the interesting thing is he comes with some Siba warriors as guards, but these are actually dressed differently. One of the, I think it was Father Time mentioned to me that these are actually slightly different than the normal Siba warriors in terms of their outfit. Rules-wise, they're the same, but kind of interesting to note, because they're going to be more like the Royal Guard type equivalent. And I think you can take up to 4 of them, which is convenient because I got 2 starter sets. And then this is the Taino, which is the character that you can add to units of Siba warriors and get an extra ability. So this one gives you first strike. I forget what that rule does, but you can add this to the unit and it gets a little bit of a buff. And then there's a pack. You get 5. There's 6 different varieties of these. The pack comes with the other 5, and they each have a special rule associated with them. So the idea is they become like the leader of the unit, and they sort of give them extra abilities, because otherwise they're pretty basic in terms of their stats. Really interesting mechanic. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out in the game. Yeah, so that's just more Sibas. And we have all the bases, and that's it. That's all you need to do. I think I'm going to do some nice beach bases for these. I think beach can look really cool, and that's kind of how they do the studio versions. I'm going to do mine slightly different from theirs. They kind of have theirs looking more like they're right at the shore. I think I'm going to do mine to look like they're at the tree line. So it's going to be like beach on one half, and then jungle, bushes and kind of like a tree line. And have it look like they're standing right in that tree line. So that'll be pretty cool. Well, let's check out the big boy. All right. So this is the Opael Goberon. I think I'm pronouncing that close-ish. And what I was told, I haven't done any reading up on this yet, but what I was told is that this is a dog that herds spirits into the afterlife, or into the underworld. But it's not necessarily hell, it's just whatever the next thing is for that particular spirit. And then the coquis are actually the people, the spirits that don't go for whatever reason. So kind of interesting. Similar box to the starter set. It also has this slip cover. So we'll throw that over there. Tight squeeze here. Bubble wrap. Oh, here they are. My coquis. So these are considered a swarm in the game. They have some unique properties. I think you put 3 of these on a base. And these guys are just adorable. Chubby little frog boys. So these are actually based on actual frogs that exist down in the Caribbean. And I think they're called coquis, at least in Spanish. Obviously they are not this big, but there's some mythology around. For whatever reason, they sort of represent these spirits that don't move on. And in the game, they are adorable, chubby little frogmen, and I love them. And they're called coquis. I want to know if that's related to the word coquito, because that's like a eggnog-like drink that's popular in PR, and that's very good. I don't really like eggnog, but coquito's very good. These guys are great. But now let's look at the showstopper here. Oh boy, that is pretty epic. It's a dog with a big feathered headdress and a cape, and all of those things are awesome. And when you put them together, pretty fond of that. Very cool. So similar, I don't really see any kind of, got a little bit of the shininess. Maybe want to rinse these off before you start painting them. I'm sure they clean them as well, but there might be a little bit of residue left over. I don't know what that shininess is, but I've obviously seen it on other models as well. But no connection points from like supports and things like that, which is really good because those are always a pain to clean up. Again, the feet, they have these, actually you can feel the bumps on the feet for this, so again, if you want to get a real good connection to the base, you might want to scrape those off, but not a big deal at all. And such a cool model. We also have the scenic base to go with it, so interestingly, these are actually pressure molded, like the old-fashioned way, and so that's it. These are some of the only things that they do that way. But I'm some skulls in there and some little cut up rocks. They look like they have runes on them or something. I guess I might add a little bit of sand to that so that it looks more like a beach, similar to how I'm going to do the rest of my stuff. I wonder if there's a specific way he goes on here. It doesn't look like it. I guess his paw's got like a, I don't know. It's not immediately obvious to me. Every other one I put together was there was really only one way to put it together. This is a little bit different. I guess it must be this way. Yeah, that feels good, like it stays there, more or less. I don't know if that's exactly what's intended, but I'll have to mess with it and I'll see. But maybe I'll mount him on here and then I'll add some sand to the base to paint it up and match the rest. But very cool. I like the idea that they have the scenic bases for their behemoths, because obviously they are really beautiful. And actually, let me grab my Quetzalcoatl and show you, just so you have an idea of what else they do for those. So this is Quetzalcoatl. It's very tall, as you can see. This is like it's got to be just over a foot tall for the top wing there. And this, so I've painted the base to match the rest of my bases, but I haven't actually painted the bird yet. But this only goes together like this. I believe this whole tail was part of this base. This is all one piece. It's quite hefty. And then I think the body, the head, the wings were separate, and then these little fins were separate. But there was only one clear way that this could go together. So interesting that it seems like maybe it's a little more flexible with the OPL Goberon. I don't know. Well, I'll mess with it, and if you are on my Discord, you will obviously see some pictures when I get these guys painted up. I think I have a couple more things to do for the Aztec army, and obviously this thing I think I'll tackle last because it's going to be quite a project, but I'm really looking forward to it. I love this model. This is one of my favorite models in my collection. It's like this and the dinosaur from Conquest are two of my absolute favorites. But once I get them painted up, I will go back to the Tainos, and I'll start probably just by doing all the bases so that they match, and then I'll show some of that stuff off. So keep an eye out on my come join the Discord, hang out. I know there's a couple of folks that are getting into this game, so if you're interested to learn more, you can also join their Discord. They have a league going on right now that you can get involved with. And keep an eye out too, because we are going to have a giveaway going in the near future for a starter box. So if you want to get the Taino starter box, you just saw what's in there, and you can check that out. But they have 6 other factions and 2 more on the way. very cool stuff. I'm getting really excited about this. I got a buddy of mine, Kevin, who you will know from the vlog if you watch it. He's going to be getting his Inuits together. And I have Russ in my area who plays the Maya. So hopefully I'll be able to get some more bat reps up of this game in the near future. But stay tuned for more. And if you like this type of content, it's relatively easy to do. It's not really something that I usually do, but I thought it might be kind of cool because this game is not that well known. So if you like this kind of content and there's stuff that you want to see me do something similar with in the future, get down in the comments and let me know. Otherwise, make sure you like, subscribe, check out the links down below, including all my affiliate links, Monument Hobbies. Go pick up some paints, use that link and it supports me. Go check out the Ko-fi where you can give me a quick tip, or the Patreon if you want to become a regular supporter of the channel. You get all sorts of benefits like early access to videos. Right now I actually have a backlog of videos that you'll be able to see on there, very likely that won't go up on the channel for at least a few weeks. So that's a little bit of an exclusive thing if you want to pitch in some money. But either way, appreciate you for watching, and I want to thank the extremely cool kids here on Patreon, the Steam Powered Scoundrels, Dogmatize, Devin, and the Spilled Paint Pot. Thanks for watching.